Good evening, everybody. It's Rico Suave, and I know it's a little late, but I wanted to do a quick video for you guys. I was just organizing some last-minute things before I went to bed, and I came across some of my contain all containers, and I thought this would be a super important video that I really want to get out to you guys, and I really think and I really hope you guys get a lot from this video. So what I want to just quickly go over right quick, I don't want to take too much of you guys' time, but I want to talk about the importance of not only having, travel size storage containers, but also the lids on them, the caps on them. So we have ones that are just twist on basic caps, and then you have the droppers right here, and then you have the poly containers, which are right here. And I kind of want to go over how all those serve a purpose and how they can really help you in your overall plan. So let's just talk about South Carolina for a second. South Carolina got hit by Hurricane Joaquin. There's a lot of people dead. There's people that are misplaced, a lot of damage. So it's something that we should be thinking about because this is happening. People are dying because of this hurricane. People are affected to this day and for many months to come, for many years to come because of this hurricane. So it's important that we think about just different considerations. And I find this to be super important in that aspect, especially when we're talking about displaced people. So I hope we can take, the history and take the lessons learned from a preparedness state, and help better ourselves. This is not just hurricanes. It could be any natural disaster. It could be anything. So, we're talking about, obviously, Hurricane Joaquin that hit South Carolina really hard, hit the whole East Coast pretty hard. Tomorrow we could be talking about societal collapse. So it's just something to think about right quick. So what I find these to be most important for, and what I use them in my everyday application, is for those products that are liquid and or have that lotion consistency. I'm looking at those that I use every day. So those products I use every day, a way to store them in a travel size, easy to go manner. So if I need to go, I know that they're already stored. I know they're already in my current, bug out plan, and I can move really quickly. Don't have to think about it. They're already out of mind, already out of sight, out of mind, and they're there because products that I use every day, I'm going to want to continue to use even if something bad does happen. And so for many of you, if you're anybody like me, you're going to know the products that you use a lot of because you probably buy them in bulk. So the first one I want to start with is my all-purpose soap. Now, I did a quick video. Actually, I did a kind of long video on all-purpose soap. I highly encourage you guys to go and look at that video. A lot of good knowledge there. But the reason why I like all-purpose soap is because a couple of reasons. Phosphorus-free. All-purpose soap is phosphorus-free. It's a concentrated soap, so it doesn't form basically a lot of bubbles. And it is also biodegradable. So I use this, and you guys saw the last video. It's the same bottle. It's been a couple months now, and I'm just under halfway full. So, like I said, you can use all-purpose soap like it's described for everything. Also, people are familiar with camp soap. If you guys buy name brand, same thing. All-purpose soap, camp soap, same thing. I can use this for washing my body, so it's safe on my skin. It's not going to strip the oils from my skin. I can use it for cleaning. I can use it on my body. I can use it for washing clothes. And I can just use it for overall, cleaning of surfaces. Highly recommend having it. But on that token, am I going to want to carry a pound bottle with me everywhere I go? No, especially if I have to bug out and have to take it on my person. Not going to happen. Put it in one of these bottles right here. Easily lasts me a week. No worries. If I know that it's just going to be a week, it gives me at least an initial week. If I'm using it for a lot of different, if I'm using it every day. Highly recommend. For me, for my purposes, having one of those bottles in my go bag. Second thing I want to talk about right quick, olive oil. I use organic olive oil. I use this every day. If I'm cooking, I use some kind of olive oil in my everyday cooking. Just who I am, what I use. It's great. It's important to have olive oil. So am I going to take this thing full right here? It's going to weigh easily 3 pounds. Easily. Am I going to take 3 pounds of olive oil on me? No. What can I do? I have a cooler that I keep in my truck at all times. That cooler has at least a week's supply of food, has a biomass stove in it, and also has water purification applications that we can go and we'll get into a little later, and I'll probably save that for another video. So I would like to be able to use olive oil if I have to cook something, if I especially cook meat from start to finish, from raw to cooked. I'm going to want to have some kind of oil. So with that, fill a bottle up, fill one of these bottles up with oil. Olive oil, throw that in the cooler. So it's already there, out of sight, out of mind. Don't have to think about it because I really don't want to be lugging, 3 pounds of olive oil on my person, especially if I have to bug out. Clorox. Clorox is super important for many reasons. Use it for disinfecting, so it's going to disinfect everything. I use it for laundry. I use it just for overall cleaning. Very important to have. Another good aspect of it, though, is water purification. You can make potable water out of Clorox. As we talked about earlier, these caps right here have droppers on them, dropper caps. Why is that important? Because just for your guys' situational awareness, your essay, 8 drops of Clorox will make 1 gallon of clear water potable. So if the water's clear, you get it from a clear source. And the water's clear, you look at it, there's not a bunch of floaties in there, it's clear, you can see through it. 8 drops of bleach. If it's cloudy, double the dosage. 16 drops of bleach will make that water potable. Or you can be lugging around a bunch of 3 to 5 pounds of bleach on your person. No, you're not. So, with that being said, what can you do? Fill 2 bottles up, fill a bottle up with bleach, put the dropper lid on it. Now you have some kind of water purification application. Another thing to think about too, with these tops, that's easily 1.5 inches diameter, right? Think about trying to pour that, getting the right dosage. Very hard to do. With the dropper, takes the guesswork out of it, right? 8 drops for clear water you can see through. Cloudy water, 16 drops. All right. The poly containers, which are these right here, they're the ones that have the tops on them, right? Good application for those. For anybody that is dependent on any kind of medications, right? If you are dependent on a certain kind of medication, whether that be anything from taking a bare aspirin a day to blood pressure medication, blood thinners, what have you, highly encourage that you have at least an emergency supply of that you can keep an emergency on your person in your bug bag. I'm sure a lot of you guys, if you guys have to keep that, take that medication every day, you probably take it with you. But just in case, for whatever reason, you're separated from it, at least you know where your emergency supply of medication is. That at least will get you a couple of days, right? Buy you a couple of days initial survival time. That's important. That's why you're preppers in the first place, because you want that initial survival time. Another thing to think about is for those of you that don't necessarily have any dependency on medication, a good medication to think about having is Tylenol, not Motrin, ibuprofen, but Tylenol. The reason for being, Tylenol, ibuprofen, Motrin, those interfere with platelet function. What do I mean by that? Now, a lot of people think that Motrin and ibuprofen are blood thinners. They are not. They're anti-congregates, meaning they're making those blood cells slippery. So when you make those blood cells slippery, they can't connect to themselves, which can, obviously be harmful for you if they're slippery and they don't connect. That will interfere with clotting. Now, it's not an anticoagulant by any means. It's anti-congregate. It keeps them from congregating and sticking together. So if you get shot and you're bleeding, or you get cut and you're having a massive hemorrhage, if you use ibuprofen for pain management, that could be do more harm than good. Tylenol doesn't have that effect. It doesn't mess with platelet function at all. That's why the military uses it in the field for that purpose, for that function. Right? So let's say that another good consideration to think about also, if you're one of those people that are dependent on an EpiPen, you guys have to have an EpiPen with you because of anaphylactic attack, whether that's peanut allergy or bee, etc. You guys carry that with you. Keep in mind, EpiPens are great. Especially if you need it, highly recommend at least having 2 doses on you at all times. Some auto injects have them on both sides. Highly recommend having that. With that caveat, though, remember that if you're in a situation, let's take South Carolina, people are displaced, right? So now you're walking around, you're getting, let's say there's a National Guard there, law enforcement, whatever, FEMA, what have you. There's people that are distributing food in mass quantities, right? You take some of that food in, it has peanuts in it. You had no idea it had peanuts in it. Didn't say, or you just were so hungry you weren't thinking about it. Now you're having anaphylactic attack. Obviously, I hope you get your auto-inject epi and you hit yourself with it. But remember, if you took a massive, ingested a massive amount, or there's a massive amount of that toxin inside of you, you could be using your EpiPen every 5 to 15 minutes, because with auto-injects, if the symptoms don't go away, hives, the closing of the throat, if that doesn't go away with your first initial dose, or it does, or it comes back, you need to hit yourself with a second dose. So instead of wasting all your epi, and let's be honest, when you're in that situation, the response times to get you to a higher echelon of care is going to be greatly, significantly increased. The waiting times before you can get EMS to take you to a higher level of care. Benadryl. Put some Benadryl in there. You can hit yourself with the initial dose, and then get that Benadryl in your system. Once that hits your system systemically, that should hold you over until you can get that to that next higher level of care. So you're not just dousing yourself with epi and then now you have nothing. The Benadryl is going to be it's going to last longer. It's going to have a longer lasting half-life than your epinephrine is. So it's something else to keep in mind. Don't get me wrong, hit yourself with that initial epi, absolutely, but definitely use the Benadryl. Or if it's not that bad and you're noticing it's coming on, take the Benadryl first. So that's something to keep in mind, especially if you use EpiPen, or you're going to be with somebody that is EpiPen dependent. Lastly, let's say you're just one of those guys and or gals, don't want to have anybody feel left out, but you don't need medication, you don't take medication, that's not you. What can I use it for? Well, I tell you what I use it for: petroleum jelly or Vaseline. It's great. Not only can you use that topically for burns, etc., but it's also great for fire starting. Okay, so just a little dab of that is going to be able to get you a long way. And so with petroleum jelly, you can definitely use it over and over and over again for any kind of fire starting application. So that'd be another great way to take full advantage of these poly containers. So like I said, I'm not here to beat a dead horse or bore you, but these are different applications that you can use this for. So for me, these containers are great. Have a couple of them, a couple packages of it. They're great. It's good to be able to make your own travel size containers, especially stuff that you already use. No purpose in going out there and spending massive amounts of money on buying a bunch of travel size of everything when you can make your own and use the stuff that you use. So it's a lot cheaper, and I know exactly what I'm using because I'm using the exact same stuff I use every day regardless. So it's a great idea. I hope you guys at least think about it, look into it, because when this disaster hits, that's not the time that you want to be thinking about finding containers to pour stuff in. You want to already have it prepped. You already want your stuff to go. If something happens, you guys should be at that point where you can just grab your bags and you know that bag has everything you need. You've already prepped your everyday luxury items, which I wouldn't consider these luxury items. I consider these things that some things that you actually need, but your everyday items that you use every single day, you can have at your disposal instantaneously. So that's why I think it's great to have, and that's why I think it's great that you guys should definitely think you guys should think about applying this application to your everyday prepping. So I hope you guys liked the video. If you guys liked the video, hit like, subscribe. If you guys have any questions, send me a personal message or leave it in the comment section below. I'll get to it as soon as I can. And hope you guys have a great evening. And as always, long live the Republic.